As I've grown up watching movies and television, many of my opinions on them have changed. Whether it was what genre I preferred or what movie I centered my life around, only one thing never truly changed for me. And that is who I believed to be the best and my favourite director. Someone who, I believe, puts the highest amount of himself into his craft, and one of the most highly technically skilled directors in the field. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Edgar Wright.
For some quick background, Edgar Wright is a master of telling kinetic, seamless, and captivating stories. Achieving this through the use of unique editing, attention to detail, and the comedic elements he's so well known for. Along with this, Wright will always incorporate some wild use of camera or sound editing to enhance the scene, as seen in some of the projects listed above. And because of this style, the films he produces never seem to lose that fast pacing you expect from him.
Now, the movies that I think best encapsulate these very elements, codes, and conventions would be none other than Baby Driver, my favourite movie, let's go!
And Shaun of the Dead, with both movies claiming excellent reception with critics, your average viewer, and, of course, me. Baby Driver is an action thriller revolving around the reluctant getaway driver, Baby, trying to escape the life he's trapped in and just
head west on 20 in a car I can't afford with a plan I don't have. Just me, my music, and the road.
The plot focuses on Baby's romanticization of the past. And to show this, Wright uses a non-linear story structure to visually show us what Baby's missing. Or isn't. By showing us Baby's past, it gives the audience context and intrigues us as to why or how he became what he is.
The devil behind the wheel.
You're a mute, baby.
The action thriller genre also opens up the floodgates to so many possibilities Wright takes advantage of. This includes his use of fast editing when the action dials up, and visual imagery when characters start to become two sides of the same coin. But we'll delve into this later. On the other side, Shaun of the Dead is a horror comedy following, you guessed it, Shaun, who's, let's be real, is a bit of a loser with no real direction in life, until a zombie apocalypse of all things gives them exactly that, direction. Although the genre types may seem contradictory, after all, how can one product make you laugh and cower simultaneously? It doesn't make sense. How can some... Edgar Wright does it. Above all this, the scariest part about Shaun of the Dead is how bloody well Wright creates engaging exposition scenes.
So, what's the plan? Right. We take Pete's car, we drive over to Mum's, we go in, we take care of Philip. I'm so sorry, Philip. Then we grab Mum, we go over to Liz's place, hole up, have a cup of tea, and wait for all this to blow over.
This is through the use of, again, a non-linear narrative structure, actively showing us what the characters intend on doing. Now that you've gotten a rough idea of both Baby Driver and Shaun of the Dead, I wanted to delve more into the codes and conventions Wright uses to further his stories, because I need an excuse to talk more about these movies. Now, the two main things I want to discuss is how he uses visual imagery and audio mixing to subtly engage audiences in his craft.
First up, colour theory.
The use of colour in Edgar Wright's movies is rarely underutilised, as he often always finds ways to inject meaning through either the backgrounds or characters. In Baby Driver, each character represents a colour which describes them as people and their motivations. For instance, the wardrobe of Bats revolves around red, which is suited towards the current antagonistic force in Baby's story. Red first suits Bats regarding his hot-headed, violent nature, striking first and dealing with consequences later. However, after his death, Buddy becomes the final antagonistic hurdle for Baby, being doused in red lighting at the end of the movie as his true nature is revealed. As a result, Bats had become a literal red herring in the story. Second up, music direction. It's no secret that Edgar Wright's use of music is one of the core pillars that makes up his style, often writing scenes around a particular piece to tell that story. The music he uses is often diegetic and is happening in-universe. With this in mind, Wright always finds ways to heighten the emotions the music conveys through syncing it with the action.
Okay, John, it's time at the bar.
With the beats of the music being in time with the action, Wright creates a sense of audible bliss and makes you feel the impact of whatever may be happening in the scene. Finally, I want to discuss the ways Wright transitions the scene. Often in recent years, creative camera work has skyrocketed as equipment and capabilities have expanded to create incredible opportunities. However, parts of film that directors seem to neglect are the transitioning shots, in which a setting or feeling may be changing. I mean, look at this transitioning scene I just picked up from the internet. It's devoid of any artistic expression. Where's the life? Where's the source? Unlike these films, Edgar Wright creates his to keep pace and not drag. The best example of this can be seen in Hot Fuzz, when Nick is moving cities. Using harsh cuts, Edgar quickly establishes the passage of time, mood, and distance, all while keeping fluidity and telling a clear story. Instead of taking you out of the action through broad, dull establishing shots, Wright makes a more personal approach to present the transition from A to B more grounded in the character's life. Damn. You know what? The more I talked about this, the more I realised how big of an impact someone's viewing experience may change their opinions on these movies. I mean, when going into the cinemas to watch an Edgar Wright movie, it's fair to say that those who are well versed in Edgar's craft have expectations on his stylistic elements and narrative conventions. But even with these high expectations, at least in my case, Wright always seems to go beyond the bar, pushing for something greater each time he creates a film. Even if engagement of these movies is through a bloody Nokia, possibly of some outward distractions or interruptions, I believe that even without sound, Wright's movies can be understood and followed eagerly through his camera direction and colour theory alone. And that's what I love about Edgar Wright. His ability to entertain and captivate audiences through simple codes to make complicated masterpieces. If you stayed long enough to watch the end of this video, thank you. Honestly, I don't know how you stuck it out listening to me ramble for how bloody long I was, but hey, I hope you enjoyed. If you disliked this video, make sure to smash that like button anyways. I'll see you later.